Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another spectacular episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. Whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a man who is making a big change in New York. That's right, the great state of New York, the Empire State of New York, home of the best pizza in the world. Come at me if you want to. I'm gonna back my statement. And every show they have had has been a banger. Man, I actually regret not making the last one, but hey, duty calls. But everybody, welcome to the show, the principal owner of Battle Club Pro and the co-owner of the shelter, the Fallout, which actually has many great students there right now as we speak. Joakim Morales.
How are
Woo!
you? Thank you for having me on.
Is it Joakim or Joakim?
It's Joakim, but I just tell everyone to call me Joe. It's always easier.
But I gotta say, it's an honor to have you on here. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to, be on our show to talk about wrestling and so on. How's everything going for you these days?
Things are good, man. Thank you guys for having me on. Training's going on right now at the Fallout Shelter. Kids are getting it in with Coach Masha.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be intense then. Jeez. Woo. I know she don't play. I've never even trained to wrestle, but I know she don't play. But but yeah, I just gotta say, the couple of shows I've been to, y'all are definitely killing it. Y'all are definitely,
Thank you.
putting New York on the map with what y'all do in the five boroughs, and it's definitely going to be a hard act to follow for anybody else. I've only been to two shows, unfortunately. I've been to Woman Crush Wednesday Part 2, which was last March or last,
Last April 20th.
yeah, and I've been to the one that y'all had at Black Wrestling Fest. I went to that one too as well. Both
Okay.
were good shows, and I definitely enjoyed it. So, yeah. So how have things been going with Battle Club Pro and everything?
Everything's going pretty good. That the show in January went off pretty well. Crowned a lot of new champions. Set some stuff up for the future. It was really good. It was fun. It was packed. There was so many people there. The wrestling club was there. We had a lot of sponsors. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was a big turnout. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I had to work that day, but definitely one of these days, I will definitely, once I'm off, I'll definitely try to make it.
Kenny, what's up?
Kenny, what's going on, man? The Call Up Podcast. Another great guy. For those of y'all watching, y'all should definitely check him out. He's a great guy. Um, Funny stories. I met him, and I was like, "What do you watch? You watch wrestling?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What do you watch?" He's like, "Everything." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let's have you on our show for 15 minutes of fandom," which is our other segment. And very great guy. So, but yeah. So yeah, I saw that last show. I was like, man, that was a great turnout. I wish I could have been there. A lot of title changes. I know Rembrandt. He's a co-tag team champion. I forgot what his tag team partner's name is, but I'll definitely remember next time. Um, I know Cosmic won a title. She definitely deserves that. She's been going crazy in the ring. A lot of big things have been happening.
Yeah, it was awesome. Four new champions. Yaya is now the franchise champion. Cosmic is the Icons champion. Joseph Alexander is the Battleweight champion, and Rembrandt and Abraham Khan, representing Federated, are now the tag team champions.
Wow, Abraham Khan. I'm glad he finally got a title, man. Because the abuse he's been getting from the Scotto Ricans and especially Jordy Lee. I'm like, geez, give the guy a break. Come
Yeah,
on.
he talks a lot, but he backs up what he says most of the time. Can be a bit annoying, but the kid is crazy talented, and Even though it was a bit shady how he did it, pulling double duty at the show was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I tell you one thing though, that Jordy Lee, I'm watching her. Y'all got a great talent on y'all's hands. Like
Yeah,
she has
she's a
everything.
star. She's definitely a star.
And you know the funny thing is, I met her before she started training,
Really.
and yeah, I met her at not Invictus. It was a We Are Wrestling. It was November or December of 2021. I
Well, no,
remember I met her. I was
it wasn't out there, but she was already training at that point.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
she started with us. She started with the Fallout Shelter and Battle Club in October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So when she told me she was trained, I think she told me she was trained. She was gonna train. So I wanted to. I was like, okay, I got my little business card for my podcast. And I'm like, okay, well, my name is Remy Blue, and whenever you debut, we'd like to have you on our show. And then I saw Woman Crush One, and it's funny because I was thinking, I was like, man, I cannot remember the name of that girl that said she was wrestling because I'd like to have her on the show. Lo and behold, she comes out with the Scotty Reeks, and I'm like, yes, that was her. That I remember her from back in the day. And then we just had her on this past summer. I tell y'all got a gold mine right there.
yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
a lot
She's. I feel like I feel like the women who train at Fallout, who here consistently putting the work in. They're doing a great job representing us.
yeah, definitely. So it was JC Storm with y'all from y'all's tour, or was she with
No,
another?
no, no. She, we worked with her on a few occasions, but she trains, I believe, under Damian Adams now.
Woo, man,
Yeah,
man, she gonna be a top notch talent. I already know it. They got certain people. I mean, I'm not saying Marsha's a slouch. I know she putting in the work. But there's certain that the person that I am, if I hear a name, I'm like, oh, let me talk to them. I gotta have that person on my show. Or y'all better watch out because like Adams, I'm like, yeah, she's definitely gonna be a hit. And that's just from what I've seen his history. But yeah, man, I gotta say, man, like I like what y'all are doing. Y'all are definitely getting, helping the New York wrestling scene, and even you, like you're not even the type of guy that just watches your own promotion. You actually check out, like I don't, I don't mean to put your business out on the street, but for those of y'all that don't, I saw this man at CCW this past Saturday, all the way in Westville, and I was like, wait a minute, is that who I think? Nah, I can't. He didn't come all the way here, and I
yeah.
was like, hey, snap, yo,
I
what is
I
it?
I enjoy going to other promotions and watching. Like I feel like that's the best way to scout talent. Anybody
Yeah.
can watch a highlight video and be like, oh, they did some cool stuff. But there's a big difference when you see it in person because you can feel how the crowd reacts to what it is they do. They might get a there might be a big applause, but the feeling you won't actually be able to encapsulate unless you're there live and in person.
Well, I'll tell you what. The fact that I saw you at CCW's victory, I will definitely be attending Woman Crush Wednesday 3 because I already know it's like, okay, this man is here. And the last one I went to, like, I was like, yeah, that's lit. That I really enjoyed myself. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I'm like, oh, if Joakim's here, then yeah, I got to check out WCW 3
Yeah, we're definitely doing
comes out,
WCW three.
later on this year because
Those details will be
if
coming.
you're a scout,
I'm sorry. Yeah, those details will be coming soon. We're gonna be dropping the details on WCW three, maybe in a week or so.
ooh,
Yeah.
awesome. So let's take a trip back into the past. I gotta ask you, man. How did you become a fan of, professional wrestling? What was the match or the main event that got you in tune, for pretty much, many years to come?
It was my earliest memories. I believe Savage and Santana in the Boston
Okay.
Garden. In the Boston Garden. That's like my earliest wrestling memory. And it's just it's always been there. It's always been there. As a child, you go in and out of your phases. Cartoons, live action, stuff like that. But wrestling just always stuck. It always just did. I didn't really get into indie wrestling till the early 2010s. I knew some of the stuff. I would follow certain talents here and there, but like actually watching full on matches and promotions, that was early 2010s. But yeah, mainstream wrestling's always just been part of my life.
Wow, that's cool. Sabin and Santana, yeah, that was definitely a classic rivalry as well. Funny thing you mentioned Santana. George Santi, who was one of your trainers. I used to be like, man, you remind me so much of Tito Santana, young Tito Santana. But I
Really?
mean that in a good way.
No, no, I know. Of course, it's a compliment, but like lately, I'll watch him in his matches, and I'm like, when the hell did you become Ricky Steamboat? Because it's scary how much he looks like a young Steamboat now.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. That's another guy. That's another guy I've been watching. Um.
Yeah.
I've always been impressed by his work and so on. I'm surprised he hasn't been called up or anything. Like he hasn't been like signed to anywhere. But who knows?
I got a really good feeling he'll end up somewhere relatively soon.
Yeah. So, maybe I'm missing something, but how did you go from? Well, were you? We obviously know you're a promoter. You're one of the owners for Battle Club Pro, and you're also co-owner of Fallout Shelter. But you were a wrestler before, right? Or no?
No, no, no. I never wrestled. I never worked. I did like amateur stuff in high school, part of the wrestling team, but no actual like in ring stuff. It just didn't happen.
Mm,
Um, and as I got older, I kind of had a like I was actually a few years ago. I was driving from Vegas to San Jose for WrestleMania, and I had a conversation with my friend at the time, and I told her like I don't know how, but I'd like to figure out how to get into the business, but without wrestling. And
mm.
she about it was about 5 years later, she hit me up and she's like, "You said this in this conversation when we were driving to San Jose, and look what's happened." And I totally forgot I had said that to her. And she's like, "I'm proud of you. It's great." And it just blew my mind that like, holy shit, I said it, and now it's actually happening. I'm actually doing it.
That's cool. That's cool. So, in terms of Battle Club, y'all been going strong for like 6 years now. You
Yes,
finally make
2016 was our first year.
you fight. Yeah, you fight. You said what was your first year?
2016.
2016. Oh, awesome. That was the year I was actually in Japan. Um, my first year being, well, not first year being in the Navy, but my first duty station. Um, I remember that year fondly. But what was you decided to take that leap, become a promoter, become owner of a promotion, and put on shows for um the the many citizens in New York that enjoy wrestling. What was going through your mind like when your first show started? Were you like, oh, I'm nervous. What if this doesn't go right? What if they boo us? Because New York fans could make you or break it. Let's be honest.
Right.
No cap. They could either be very happy or they could be mean.
Yeah.
That's the thing with New York. But what was your mindset? With the first Battle Club Pro show.
So on the first Battle Club show, I was actually just on commentary. The original owner, the founder of Battle Club, Carlos, who since retired, um, I was just helping him out. What happened was when he had brought me on, he just wanted me to do commentary, and I was like, "Yo, I want to do more. I want to be your partner. I want to like, I really want to help you run this thing." So like as the events went on, slowly he gave me more responsibilities. There was a match here. It was a talent here, maybe some boarding here, like just small responsibilities here, sponsors and locations and whatnot. I actually didn't get full control of Battle Club until 2018, July of 2018. Um, I tell a story, but it's funny. Like we're about to start the show, go through the curtains, and Carlos kind of looks over at me. He goes, "All right, you're in charge now." And he walks through the curtain. Like he's like, "This is all yours now. I'm done." And he just walks through the curtain, and I'm like frozen. And I look over at Brian Pillman Jr. He goes, "All right, kid, the show is yours now." And then I'm just fucking, I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" And then afterwards, he clarified like he was having another child, and he kind of felt like what he wanted to do with Battle Club, he accomplished, and he thought I could take it to different heights and different, I had different ideologies and ideas. Um, so yeah, he just kind of transferred it over to me, and since 2018, it's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. It's been crazy. I really I inherited a really good situation. I thank him constantly for it. He's a great guy. And I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for him. But it definitely feels like this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
That's cool. That's crazy. How he's like, okay, you're in. So that's why you did what you did the other. Because I remember when Janelle from HR,
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, he just sprung up and said, okay, you're a co-owner. Would you, or she said she was, he was, you were like, how'd you like to be co-owner? Or you kind of put her on the spot. Or I think you said she's co-owner now.
No,
And then,
I had asked her. I had asked her at a show, and she said she wanted to answer at another show. She wanted some time to think about it. But yeah, I just kind of sprung it up on her. But it worked. She's great. She helps with a lot of stuff. She's amazing. She's her and my other partner, Red. Like they take so much off my plate. They help out in so many ways that not a lot of people say. Not a lot of people see. So I'm infinitely grateful for them.
yeah, and then you also, another great thing is you give people opportunities because I remembered Stephanie Hardy of the Hardy
Yeah.
Wrestling Podcast, and who's also a commentator in her own right. She was at Black Wrestle Fest, and you just came over and was like, "Yeah, I'd like to, do commentary for the match with Big Swole." I think it was Mia Yim she was wrestling
No, it
at the
was
time.
originally it was going to be Willow versus Swole. Willow had gotten injured out in Minnesota, and then we ended up having to substitute Willow with Jordan Blade, which was an incredible
Oh,
match, an entirely different kind of match. But yeah, the basically the same principle. Like I wanted her, to feel because to me the moment was special because she's been doing it where she's at and she's great at what she does. So I just kind of wanted to spring it up on her and let her know like hey I'm really looking forward to calling this match with you, would you do it with me? And of course she did, and she did a great job. And I'm gonna try to see if I can get her back up here because she's really good.
Stephanie, you might want to consider moving up here because a lot of people want to see you up here. You're doing Comic Cons and all that stuff. Just change your residency to New York, man. We're not too bad up here. We're pretty fun. But that's pretty awesome that you did. I was like, that's great. She's getting an opportunity, especially how she showed so much passion and emotion for the business. That was cool that you actually did that as well too. So y'all have had a banger year, and the momentum is the momentum is it's not stopping anytime soon. And I'm glad, and I wish y'all nothing but tremendous success. Y'all are definitely what New York needs, especially Brooklyn. But speaking of which, so you guys actually do shows, primarily in Brooklyn. That's where you're
Yeah.
based. Or are you going to be going to any of the other boroughs, like
So
Bronx,
we
Queens?
started we started in the Bronx. Our first three shows were in the Bronx, and we've had four shows in the Bronx total. The show I was actually given Battle Club, it was given to me, was done in the Bronx. I would love to go back to the Bronx. We just had some trouble finding a venue. Um, because I like to be different. I don't like to go where everyone else goes. I feel it's kind of disingenuous. It's a huge part of what makes a promotion feel original is the fact that there's somewhere that no one else is at. But I would love to go back to the Bronx sometime. Hopefully this year. I would really love to go back to the Bronx this year.
Okay. I don't think I've ever been to a show in the Bronx. I've been to many in Queens, New York City, and Brooklyn. Never went to one in the Bronx. That'd be interesting. Very interesting. So, my last two questions are um the second to last one is we're still, this is the Jordan year, 2023 Jordan year. It's not just for people that are born in the two and not just for people that are born in 2000, but for everybody it's a Jordan year. Stay winning, make goals, break records, all that good stuff. Without giving us too much, I know you're gonna, you got a couple surprises for us. I know it. Like you ain't got to tell me, but I know it. I know you like to spring things up on people, and that's cool. But just a little taste, a little hint. What can we expect from Battle Club Pro this year?
Um,
I know you mentioned WCW. Okay,
yeah,
you're gonna,
WW.
but
We're toying with uh a kind of an innovative idea, which will those details in specific will be announced when we do announce the next WCW. Um, I would really like to just continue with the momentum. In terms of new stuff, I would like to put out a product almost weekly if I could with the kids of the Fallout Shelter and giving opportunities to some talent that's from out of state. I recently posted that email, and I've gotten a ton of responses and inquiries. I've been slowly going through them and compiling a list. So, like, I think the biggest objective this year, outside of continuing to showcase the students at the Fallout Shelter, showcase our Battle Club Pro regulars, our champions, is giving a lot of opportunities to, talent that is not maybe getting it in the Northeast. People from Alabama, Atlanta, Florida, the DMV area, the West Coast, the Midwest. I've gotten some inquiries from people from Canada. Some people, I think we got one email from someone in Argentina. Like, I would love to just give opportunities to people who might not get it because of their location.
that's great that you're actually doing that, and I definitely look forward to seeing um, that come to fruition. And that's safe. Nobody's thanked you for that. Thank you for actually doing that. Giving more opportunities. 'Cause I know that we're gonna. You never. And the funny thing, you never know you never know who you're gonna see. You never know that
Right.
person from Atlanta or Canada or even Argentina might be the next big thing. Big thing. Next thing you know, Vincent. Well, not Vince, but Triple H or Tony might seem like, oh yeah, yeah, let's sign that person right now.
Right.
You know, and
That's the goal.
there you go.
That's the goal.
Or heck, maybe you might become the training ground for AEW. I mean, or Impact. I mean, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but look at OVW. OVW was
No,
was
of
the
course not. I mean, listen, I think ultimately the goal will be the ultimate goal is to be in a such a strong financial place that we can actually start signing wrestlers to contracts ourselves. But to be part of something that's on TV constantly would be amazing. Give me one moment. Just let me just answer this real quick. Hold on one second. Sorry about that.
okay.
That's all good. Yeah, man, I definitely gotta get up there in New York sometime, man. I want to try and get up there in the summertime.
Dude, New
I
Jersey,
feel
man.
well, I feel better, man, because man, the winter time I'll be up there like, I'm too cold. I don't want to do nothing. I want to stay in the warm.
Just come to
Summer,
come.
spring, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, just pull up whenever you want, man. Just pull through. Just don't let me say pull up now because it sounds good. You gotta do a drive
Well,
by,
I
but
know what you mean, though. I know what
just
you mean, though.
just pull through. Come, yo, Remy, I'm in town. All right, cool. Let's meet up in the city.
Hmm.
Battle Club's on. Go to Battle Club and that's it.
That's
You
right.
know how we do.
You guys are
You know.
Take,
definitely welcome to come out. You're from Delaware?
yeah, yeah. I ref for 1CW,
Oh,
ring
nice,
announce and all that. Yeah, yeah, I do all
nice,
that. Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So we're the brother promotion to CCW.
Oh,
They're our
nice.
sister promotion.
I,
Yeah, we run shows the same time as them.
I, because I went to one CW and CCW show, the one that Cosmic was on in November or December, maybe December.
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because we do us, and then we go CCW, and then us, then
yeah,
CCW.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We
That's
go like, or
different.
we go CCW us. However we do it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very different approach. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody there's cool. Yeah, like you were saying, like Masha on there. She's been there before. I've met her and all. Yeah, I like Masha.
Yeah, Masha's amazing.
Yeah, I got a story. Yeah, after Remy's question, I got a funny little story with her, whatever. But
So my last question I got is, somebody goes to a Battle Club Pro show, and they're so inspired, and they're like, "Hey, Joakim, I want to do the same thing you're doing, man. I mean, not necessarily Brooklyn, it could be like Staten Island or something. What advice would you give that person that would want to start their own promotion?"
I think I think the biggest skill, and it's probably the one that's been missing from independent wrestling, is the ability to build bond with people. Um, I think if you get into independent wrestling looking to line your pockets, you're a fool. This is very much a passion project that if it's going to succeed, it's going to take a while. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of long nights. It took a lot of money. But if you want to be successful at something, you got to be willing to put the work in. But I think people take for granted how important it is for people to feel like they can trust you, feel like they're safe around you, feel like they're in an environment where they can grow and blossom, as opposed to just, I'm working this booking here. I really don't care about the promotion. The promotion doesn't mean anything. It's just a payday. Or you get those terrible promotions that try to get people to work for free. Oh, it's an opportunity, and that's in today's day and age is BS. Like if you're not, I understand that everyone's got a different value, but you have to be able to place a value on your work. And if you're going into promotions with the ideology that, hey, I'll work for free, they're just going to be taken advantage of. You're just going to get a lot of people who'd be like, oh, well, hey, we'll want you back. Okay, so my rate is this. Oh, but you did it for free last time. And now you're in a spot where you kind of feel guilty because you promised them that you would do it for free. Like you should always attach a value to what it is you do, because just like with wine, just like with collectibles, value only increases over time. Um,
Yeah.
so if you place a value on the stuff that you do, and you're good at what you do, and you're worth what you place your value, and you grow, so should your value, and people should respect that. Um, but I think the ability to build bonds with people is probably the primary trait that someone should have. Because who wants to work with someone that they can't get along with? Who wants to work with someone that they can't communicate with? I'm not saying you got to be everybody's best friend. You don't have to be me and you hug everybody that you see, but you have to be able to build that bridge with communication and comprehension. And if you're just kind of, a downer or someone that doesn't really like to engage with people, it's tough for them to want to be there, to want to come back. The crowd feels everything. So if your talent feels a certain way about you, the crowd's going to feel that, and it's going to translate in the audience's responses, the audience's turnouts. You know, all that stuff matters. So if you treat people the way they should be treated, the way you would like to be treated, I think you get a lot further than just trying to be the gimmick carny promoter who's going to put on as many matches as he could with free talent, just trying to line his pockets. Like this is something you do from the bottom of your heart. You're not going to get rich overnight with indie wrestling. So you've got to understand that and be yourself and be very much about what it is you're trying to convey with indie wrestling. You're not If you're just putting a show on, you could probably be better suited doing other stuff. But if there's meaning behind what you do and people can feel that, I think that will get you a lot further along in indie wrestling.
Wow, awesome. So for those of y'all that just were listening, y'all just got some advice from one of the best to do it here in New York. Any other advice he has to give you? You probably gonna have to hit up his PayPal or Cash App.
No, I don't. I have no problem speaking to people. I don't think there's a need to charge if they're looking for advice or help. Like I'll do. If everyone is succeeding and an independent wrestling as a whole is succeeding, then there's no need for sharks and snakes. There's no need for anyone to be cutthroat because everybody's winning. And I think that became a misconception. Like, oh, I need to be able to stab people in the back, so only I'm succeeding. But I mean, as mainstream wrestling fans, how long has the comment been, "Oh my God, there's no other real competition for the E," and since there's not, the product is lacking. But if everybody's winning, that means everybody's got to step their game up. That means everyone's doing what they can to put on the best show possible. So I have no problem. It doesn't matter who it is. If it's a competitor, if it's a friend, if you need something, you want to talk, or if there's anything I can do to help, I'll do it. Because if everyone succeeds, then I'll succeed ultimately.
Awesome. Great, great advice right there. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob because I know Rob has a couple of questions for you as well. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All
By the
right,
way,
sweet. Thanks, man.
before he goes any further, Joakim, if you're looking for an extra referee, I'm gonna put his business out on the street. You know, he might get on me later, but Rob loves tacos. So if you're looking for a fourth referee besides Mr. Black, Steve Dumang, and Nick Shin, you got one right here that's probably going,
It's a 4 hour drive though,
Yeah, I
right?
know. Plus, you got Nick Shin up there, man. I know him, man. He's great, man. He's
Oh
awesome,
yeah,
man.
Nick is
Yeah, you're
amazing.
good. You're good with him, man. You
Yeah,
don't need me. You got him, man. He's like 100 of me, man. Yeah, you don't need me, man. Yeah,
I'm
man.
not so I'm not opposed to giving referees from out of state an opportunity. We work with referee Bill Thompson. He does a lot of stuff up in the New England area. He's fucking great. The thing is, like I said, it's not a super lucrative business as you're starting. So, like, just to be fair, I'd have to make it worth Rob's while, which means that like
Yeah.
I'd have to compensate him thoroughly for not only uh, his duty in the ring, just like I'd have to take care of his transportation. I mean, it would just be fair. It'd be disingenuous for me to be like, "Hey, come ref for whatever your fee is or whatever I can pay you." But then you're spending so much money on tolls and gas, and you
Hmm.
know, if it's 4 hours coming, that means it's 8 hours. That means one third of the day. So if we could do it where he maybe gets a carload going, then it makes sense. Like it's a very business thing, especially with the talent that isn't in the ring. Like usually in ring talent, there's a no like it's common courtesy. Hey, you have to take care of X, Y, and Z. Whereas like referees, ring announcers, people who do commentary, sponsors, interviewers, stuff like that. Like there's great people everywhere, but in order for at least the way I look at it, because I'm not going to be somebody who says, "Hey, drive up 5 hours to do backstage interviews, and I'm going to give you $20." That's BS.
Yeah.
Um, and Rob, people do that shit all the time.
Hmm.
Um, so it would have to be like we'd have to work out a genuine business transaction so that everybody can win. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm, I mean, if I'm not getting someone that's on TV, like flying out a ref, I think is just that's a huge stretch. Like
Oh yeah.
these budgets can be, you know, $3,000 a show, depending on where you run, $15,000 a show. And every penny counts. So, to sit there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna fly this ref out," like, well, you don't think you could probably get a better in-ring talent for what you're gonna pay for the ref? And again, it's not that the ref isn't important. The ref's the quarterback of the match. The ref makes sure everything goes off without a hitch. They're communicating with the wrestlers. But I'm blessed to have two TV ready refs in Nick Shin and Steve Dumang, and Yardley, Mr. Yardley Black is learning from them, so he's in great hands and doing well. So I'm in a really strong position when it comes to local referees. Who is
Oh
calling?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love the ref.
Yeah.
I heard it going, man. I thought it was something around here. I was like, we got an earthquake, man. Oh man, I'm gonna be soiling myself on YouTube, man. Oh man, we got an earthquake here. Like, man, ground ain't supposed to move. Mm. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. I understand. Yeah, with the ref, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. I like repping down in here, man. Where it's cool drive.
Right.
Down the little DMV area. Yeah, it's all good. Just go there, do your thing, head on home. Shoot. So yeah, man, like I was telling you a little bit ago, meeting Masha and all. I met her at CCW and chatted and all stuff. And then I remember after the show, like I guess a bunch of everybody met up at it was not Wawa, Royal Farms. So people go up there. I'm just up there. I was getting munchies, sodas and all that. I see whoever she was riding with, and it was like, oh man, yeah, you get up here too. I look, she's over there. She's like, Jesus Christ, the whole effing wrestling collective come up here. What in the world? Like, hey, I gotta get munchies and drinks. You know what I mean? Run, like, yeah, yeah, I'll get you with that. I'll get you with that. But yeah, we're good. You're good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great when you have those moments, especially when they're like unintentional. You're
Mhm.
like it's after the show, and sometimes people make it a point to try to go someplace that no one else is gonna go, just because
Mhm.
sometimes it can be a lot, it can be overwhelming, especially if it's a big turnout. There's a ton of people. Sometimes you just kind of need that reset. You need to be an introvert for a moment, so you try to go somewhere
Mhm.
where no one else is, and you still run into them, but it's a
Yeah.
small section, so it's a little easier. It's a little more intimate. Uh, but yeah, those are great. Like I have a similar story. Um, we did a show in the Bronx or Jersey, maybe it was Jersey, and I'm in a like three-piece suit, but obviously it's the end of the night, so the suit is
Mhm.
all disheveled and unbuttoned and whatever. And then my partners are like in their regular clothes because they're doing like work or whatever. And then we have Sue Young, still in full makeup, half gear for some reason. And we're all in like this diner, and we all kind of walk in, and the looks we got because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning in the Bronx, like what
Mm.
the fuck just walked in here? So those stories, those like little side stories of getting food and stuff like that, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was Sue Young. I met her too. She gave me a Red Bull one time after
No,
the show. She was like, I got a whole bunch of these or whatever, man. It's like, who drove here? I was like, I drove here. You want Red Bull? Like, I mean, I only live like a half hour, 20 minutes from the show, but yeah, whatever. I'll take it.
yeah,
How
she's
often he
amazing.
say she gave you a Red Bull?
Yeah, she's amazing. She has one of the greatest minds of wrestling I've ever spoken to. I was driving her to the airport one time, and just the gems she was giving me, I was just like, wow! Like she sounded like someone who's been in the business for 150 years.
Hmm.
Um, just the ideas and the way her wheels were spinning are so inventive. She's amazing. I can't wait to have her back. I'm glad she's back on the scene. She had her lovely, lovely, lovely child. So it's great that she's experiencing motherhood. But that ring always seems to call people back.
That's right. That's right. Man, can you imagine her child, coming up in wrestling too? Learn.
Right.
Woo! Oh man, that generation. Oh my lord. Oh, I can't even imagine it. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. So, I gotta ask, about this, running a promotion and a school, man. Like how is that stress level, man? Like you said, you have partners, to help relieve it, but yeah, there's still gotta be a lot of stress because I know like Hardy and Carlson, and they do the same thing, the school and got this promotion. It's like, oh man, yeah, you
It,
gotta keep up with a lot of stuff.
it's a lot. It is a lot. I guess I'm blessed to have great partners. It's easier now. We've located, like, everything is kind of centralized now. We're all kind of running out of the same facility. Shows in the school in one. Um, we've got a great group of trainees. Aging from their ages range from 18 to like 35, all different skill levels. God, we're almost at like 50 trainees at this point.
Mm,
It's wonderful just to see their growth. But I tell people it's stress, but it's good stress. It's good problems to have. It's like, who do I book this month? Or
yeah.
if I'm going to do a student showcase, who am I going to highlight? Who's been progressing? Who can help, solidify the door at a battle club show? Like, they're all good problems to have. Obviously there's things, especially when you're dealing with people and egos. There's those moments where you're like, man, this is tough. But I want to say over the last half year to the year, things have just been really great overall. Just things with Battle Club, things with Fallout, things have just been wonderful. All the wonderful stuff we do with our sponsors and our podcast, primarily Title Match, Jobber Tears, GG for the win, Go for the Pin. There's just so many wonderful ones. THWF, Ringside has sponsored once. Like, you we don't exist without you guys. So you guys are just as paramount as, the referee, the talent, the fans, like all that stuff matters. Um, but yeah, I would say the stress is high, but it's, at least in my eyes, it's good and it's positive stress. There's the stress that makes you feel so emotionally drained. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to brush your teeth. You don't do none of that. Like it's damn near depression. But then there's the stress, like, okay, I know what I got to go get after. I know what I got to do. X, Y, and Z. Let's get it. Like it's gonna be a tedious, tough day, but it's all gonna end up being worth it. So on my end, it's been a lot of good stress. I
Mhm.
can say that real life has definitely been a lot more difficult than my professional wrestling life.
That's fair. That's fair. That's cool. Now you're talking about student showcases and stuff. How often do you do those and stuff? And
Well,
and,
those,
and like, how cool are they? I mean, you get to see the young guys and gals, going there, for their first time or whatever, going there do their thing, man. I love it. I'll be watching. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I'm proud of them. I feel proud of them.
exactly. It's a wonderful feeling. It's that fatherly content of my boy or my gal. She's getting it done. Um, the showcases are sporadic. It's like, hey, can we get some family members to just come be in the crowd? Obviously, like if it's a student showcase, it's literally just letting the kids get reps in. There's no like selling anything. There's no advertising. It's just like, hey, they're having their full on gimmicks on being done, but it's a real show, but it's not like, hey, publicly advertised,
Yeah,
no tickets, get
yeah,
some of this.
yeah.
It's really just about the kids having that experience so that as they start hitting the circuit and meeting promoters and going to
Mhm.
different promotions all across the world, they're better equipped to be more professional. Professionalism is something that I feel like for the longest time has escaped indie wrestling, and it's because people forget it's called professional wrestling. You've got to be
Mhm.
a professional. You're a brand unto yourself. Not only are you representing that company, the school you trained at, you're representing, people who've paved the way for you. People like, I'm going to try and name some old, Reckless Youth, Murder One, just those older, Steve Mack, if you want to talk the Northeast area, like those OGs that have been around forever, that have made it so that the game is more welcoming to younger talent nowadays. So yeah, you're representing a lot of people when you go and you start hitting the circuit as an actual pro wrestler. So we want them to be as best suited to do that as possible. So the showcases help a lot with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The showcase, yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we also have, the trainers, they'll also work with, the students and stuff. Like their match, it'll be like a tag match between a trainer, somebody that's like, a real high level, so they're not going out there, just looking like a deer in headlights or anything.
Right, right,
And also there's no like 5-star frog splashes or
right,
there's nothing like
right.
that. It's all like,
We build up to
just
that.
chill. Yeah,
Yeah,
just chill, nice, 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 calm,
yeah.
we out here having
Yeah.
fun, man, doing our thing,
Let 'em
entertain
know.
everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not. It might feel like you're WrestleMania, but it's not. So don't go sit there and hurt yourself. You
Yeah.
know, we jokingly tell the kids that deathmatch wrestling is year three, but but
That's funny.
like it's so that they come on. When you see someone like a Darius Carter, when you see someone like uh who else has that impression? Like a Brian Pillman, um God, who carries himself wonderfully? Simon Gotch. Like when you see these kind of people and you see how just there's something about them, when you see them backstage, it's more than just, hey, I'm a wrestler. Like there's just like, oh, there's aura about them. And we want to try to give our students, our trainees, as much of that as possible before they go out and explore the world.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, when you're, at the school and stuff, you see the trainees out there. Do you ever, tease the brand new trainees a little bit? Be out there, just, yeah. You ever say no to, see them or whatever? They'll be like, oh man, there's the owner right there. They try to be a little extra hard. You know what I mean? So they don't mess up or whatever. And you be like, what are you doing? I bet your old lady ain't happy. You need to pop them hips. You know what I mean? You start popping them hips, your old lady be happy. Or old man,
I,
whatever.
it's you know we've got now we're at, I can't believe we're at 7 coaches now.
Woo.
I kind of leave it to them. I try to be like the Papa Bear, like, hey, how can I help you? How can I, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Mhm.
I think the furthest I'll go with a joke for someone who's new is like, all right, once you learn how to bump on the concrete, you can bump in the ring, and they're like, what?
Oh man.
Right. And then
Whew.
it's like, no, no, I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to the we really obviously we don't haze. We're a very loving
Yeah.
environment. But like the ribbing and stuff, the fun poking, the coaches because in that moment when playing with them and they're like confused or feeling awkward, like no, no, this is how you actually do it. They can course correct it right in that moment. But
Mhm.
you ease the tension, you break the ice with a little jab here or there.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all good. That's all cool, man. So I do have to ask, do you have a show coming up? Is there anything coming up soon? Y'all got coming up
So
this
April is
month,
the
next month?
target date. We announced an April 21st date, but there, like I said, there's going to be some details coming out. I think I'm going to try something a bit innovative.
Mhm.
It's going to be fun, but I think in terms of overall, like shows that we're definitely going to be promoting and pushing, it'll be April. I just don't know if it'll just be one or two shows. The Fallout Shelter is going to have its first like publicly branded, announced show in May. That's our 2 year anniversary. We're gonna have a tournament. We're gonna crown a Fallout Shelter champion. Then there's Black WrestleFest 2. That's June 17th. There's gonna be a Jobber Slam this year as well. We always have an anniversary show around October, November. Um, yeah, and just we'll just push along until something hits.
There you go.
But
There
I
you go.
would say for sure, um, April. I've had a lot of podcasts inquire with me about something in March for a specific reason. Um, I'm gonna reach out and see what their thoughts are. Maybe we can pull it off. Um, it was a pretty inventive idea. This was Dirty Heels and Gigi for the win. Kind of brought it up to me, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So if that hits, maybe we'll do something in March. But again, it's all about timing. It's all about making sure the funds are right. We always do our best to take care of everybody. We don't leave anybody untaken care of. Paid. You get paid. You get compensated for what you do. You're in a loving environment, in an environment where everybody wants to see everybody grow. Try to keep the cancerous talents out of the locker room. I just feel like it's the best way to go about it, especially when, as of late, half the roster are Fallout trainees. Like, and that's the whole point is to showcase the talent that you're breeding, that you're trying to build. Um, yeah, that's the goal is to just do as much as possible and continue to have everyone grow and excel.
That's cool. That's good. Now, when I was doing a little research, man, I got to see you're a YooHoo fan. So you like Yoo-Hoos or whatever, man. So man, I gotta ask, when did that start? And I used to like Yoo-Hoos, but I have a friend, man. He loves chocolate milk Yoo-Hoos and all that, and he would grab a great big Yoo-Hoo like early in the morning. We go like, yeah, let's go to the beach or something today. He would have that thing all day. It'd be all like hot. I'm just like,
Ah,
and he would drink it on all day. I'm
no.
just like, why are you? I'm like, man, like, you're gonna be going to the bathroom? So he's like, nah, man, it ain't milk. It's like water and stuff. It's chocolate drink. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, come on, man. Oh,
It's absolutely chocolate water.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
for
chocolate
me.
drink.
It's
Yeah,
got to be unless I'm really, really, really hankering for one. It has to be a can. It's got to be ice cold, and it's got to be thrown back like it's just like an Austin freaking Steve Weiser. It's
yeah.
got to be chugged
That's
because
right.
the moment it starts to get warm, it's not good.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just kind of a random thing. My partner, like, he has a vending machine, and he just kind of stocked it with YooHoo, and I was like, man, I haven't had a YooHoo in about 15 years. Let me grab one, and it just kind of kicked from there. And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like the go-to drink when I'm having that sweet tooth hankering.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. Yoo-hoos, man. Yeah, I haven't had them really since as a kid yet, and then watching my friend do all that, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Even if it's like I see it come out of the freezer, I just see him, like walking down the boardwalk, stuff. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, Oh man, Now I do gotta ask. Kind of ask everybody this. I mean, like, are there any like new movies and TV shows you're watching right now? Because when I watch stuff, I always get caught in watching the same old things like comfort shows. Like
Right.
Married with Children or
Yeah.
X Files or something.
Great
Curb
pick.
Your Enthusiasm, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
I last summer I went on a Married with Children binging, like just everything, like back to back to back. Absolutely. I mean, Last of Us is the craze right now.
hmm
I think it's a pretty good adaptation. Obviously, it's not going to be a shot for shot, revision because then what's the point? You
yeah.
just play the damn game. Um, I saw that Batista movie, that M Night Shyamalan. I saw yesterday. I thought
Oh,
it was
okay.
amazing. Was it yesterday or
Okay.
2 days ago?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's fairly new. So I watched it recently. Maybe it was Sunday that I saw it. I don't know. It was recent. Um, it was excellent. I thought it was really great. Batista really showed his acting range in it. That was dope.
Mhm.
Um, that poster you got hanging up there, man. I can't wait for the next season. That
Yeah,
that
I know, man.
Oh man, that's good.
Mando.
That's really good stuff right there. Of course, all the Marvel stuff. You gotta stay with that. Um, I would say a show that I have to catch up on, but a show that I definitely fall back on, especially when I'm having those like, hey, let me get a comfort show going. Is Doctor Who? I love Doctor Who.
Okay.
I feel like Doctor Who's a really good um, reflection of what life is. And obviously we don't regenerate as humans. You only die once. You live every day, but
Yeah.
you only die once. But I feel like when in the show when he's going through his regenerations, it's just like us evolving into our next life. So like you're not the same person you are from age 0 to 10, and
Yeah.
then you're not the same from 11 to 20, 21 to 30. Like every 10-year gap, you're absolutely a different person than you were from the decade before. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's what Doctor Who kind of reflects whenever it has the main character has their regenerations. Like this is a different iteration of the same person, but the memories are all still there. Just like with us, like we all remember what was going on, but we're all different people than we
Mhm.
were back then. Um, Doctor Who's a good one. Those comfort shows, man, like Seinfeld, Married with
Oh
Children, How I
yeah.
Met Your
Yeah.
Mother, The Wayans Brothers, Fresh
Oh
Prince.
yes.
Oh, there's just so many, man. Gosh,
Now I got
um,
the Wayne's Brothers song stuck in my head now that you
bro,
said it. They're
and
opening. We're brothers.
it's criminal. It's funny that they did this little
Yeah.
Easter egg in the Scream movie, but it's criminal that they didn't get like a real finale. They didn't get a
Yeah.
spin-off season.
Yeah.
But man, I love it. Gosh, the show Damon Wayans. With
Wife and kids.
Yes, My Wife and Kids is
Yeah.
another great one. There was so many. I feel like we're kind of slowly working back to more episodic TV, but
Mhm.
for the last 15, maybe 20 years, reality TV, which is just
Yeah.
scripted television shot in a different, setting, um, kind of took over, and it kind of pulled away from the genuine nature of what TV was. Like it was nice to have those family comedies on TGIF or
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons. Like a lot of that stuff is kind of gone, and I feel like it kind of forces kids to grow up faster than they need to. Society is just moving at a much faster rate than it needs to, and if you know anything about wrestling, slowing it down is the best thing you can do.
hmm
And I feel like we're slowly working our way back to that. Like we don't, most people don't conventionally have cable anymore. It's all just which streaming
Yeah.
services do you have? But like you're
hmm
getting episodic television, like Mandalorian, like The Last of Us, like Game of Thrones. Breaking Bad is gone, but like the Breaking Bad type shows. Um, a lot of that's coming back, and you're starting to also see a lot more returns of our favorites, or at least reimaginings of our favorites, like Ninja Turtles and
hmm
I don't know if the Thundercats one dropped, but like Transformers, like all those wonderful shows when we were young are starting to pick back up. So I feel like maybe slowing it down is going to slowly happen. Uh, while the pandemic had a lot of awful moments, it sucked being locked down, but I feel like people kind of realized what was important. Time was important, health was important, fun was important, and that like need to be go, work, that kind of just disappeared, which
Mhm.
it should have. Like your life shouldn't be spent, you shouldn't spend 75, 80, 90 to 90% of your life working just to croak 5, 6 years later. Like you should be enjoying life. The whole point of enjoying life is the journey.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't caught The Last of Us yet, but I know I'm going to like it because when I watch it, I'm not going to die 50 times. Like Joel's not going to die 50 times like when I was playing the game, So yeah, he's going to have that one, like that Iron Man through. Like yeah, he knows where everything's at and does everything right.
I was talking to someone the other day about it, and I was like, Walking Dead has been amazing, and I think it's either finishing or it just recently finished.
Yeah.
I kind of trailed off with it. I feel like where the focal point with The Walking Dead was the primary focus, at least my way of looking at it, were the walkers, and then you had the other people as the outside threat. I feel like The Last of Us is kind of making it a point for you to understand that people are the actual threat, but the looming background threat are these zombies, these clickers, these bloaters, whatever you want to call it, whatever version of them you want to call it.
Mhm.
And I kind of feel the same. I felt the same with Game of Thrones. Like the political game was the actual threat, but you had this looming, White Walkers, ice zombie thing
Yeah.
in the background that people were murmuring about. Um, that was always there. So you're like, yo, we got to play this politics game, but there's like demonic, mythical creatures coming after us.
Mhm.
We still have to pay attention to that. So like,
Yeah.
The Walking Dead was amazing, you know, for the majority of it that I had seen, but I feel like The Last of Us is doing a really good job focusing on the human element first.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm definitely going to check it out, man. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and I love both games, So yeah, I kind of know. I guess if they kind of follow the game, I know what's going to happen. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who has it, But hopefully they take a right turn. I'm like, oh snap, okay, yeah, here we go. You know what I mean? Wasn't like the game. All right, I like this because
They've,
I
they've
heard I heard they renewed it for like season 2 already.
Yeah, they've done some good stuff. They've made some subtle alterations from the game that I think do a good job because it's a different medium. So it's
Mhm.
not going to be a shot for shot,
Yeah.
revisit. It's going to be an adaptation. There's going to be alterations here and there, and the little subtle things they've done have really helped convey the story of what it is. Like, from one of the best, one of the most obvious things is like Joel isn't an unstoppable force.
Mhm.
He's not gonna get shot 10 times and still move. That's what would happen in the video game. But in the show, they're doing a really good job. Like, no, this is a 50-year-old man trying to get this mission done. He's gonna have, kinks in his armor. He's gonna have, all these kind of issues because he's older. And that's what real life is like. You know, nobody can
Mhm.
walk forever and be okay. That's not how real life works. So they're doing a good job of making those subtle changes.
Yeah, I heard that too, man. Yeah, I'm definitely good. It's one of them things I'm definitely going to check out. I might wait for a couple more episodes to go out because I know how I am. I mean, like
Yeah.
if I watch something and I'm like, oh man, this week needs to hurry up so I can, the next show needs to come out. I'll just be all thinking about it, start going crazy. Like when Breaking Bad was out and Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? I was like,
Right.
what are they going to do now? What are they going to do now? So when the dragons coming, tearing stuff
Right.
up, stuff. But yeah, man, I do want to say, oh man, I think Remy's kind of messed up right there a little bit. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, okay, yeah, so yeah, the Fallout shelter and stuff, and also, are you a gamer? Is that where you got the name from or something?
So no,
So
it's not the first time I've heard that. But it is kind of intriguing that lined up. Um, Battle Club Pro, um, is the main promotion. Um, and we're partnering with Federated, who is a brand. unto itself. We work together a lot. Sometimes they do things I'm not too fond of. Sometimes they do things I'm really fond of. Um, but it literally during the speaking out movement, it was brainstorming like, well, the Federated has the F bomb. Battle Club Pro is the if you break it down to what it is we're saying, it's a battle, it's a war field. So we were, at first it was like, well, should we go with bunker? And I was like, nah, it's a little too on the nose. It's kind of weird. But like I said, we were, this all kind of came up because of the speaking out movement. And we were like, we would like to build an environment and a safe place to keep our trainees away from the nonsense, the toxicity. And originally my partner had said, "Oh, what about the bomb shelter?" And I was like, again, that's a little too on the nose because you have the F bomb, and it just kind of like, what about the fallout shelter? Like we're protecting them from the radiation of all this disgustingness. And we both kind of looked and it was like, yep, that's the name. So it wasn't from the video game. It was more so the actual wording, like what fallout. Like if a bomb drops, you drop the atomic bomb. It's not necessarily the bomb that's going to kill you. It's going to be the fallout from it, all the radiation, the crazy winds, the high temperature. So we created a space to protect our trainees from that nonsense.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's pretty cool, man. I like how how you came about that too. Yeah, like protect them from all that fallout stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that, man. That's great. Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on and chat with us. I definitely had a blast. I wish you nothing but luck, with the Fallout Shelter, Battle Club Pro. I hope you all, start kicking butt. Hope you all start expanding, get more students. You keep doing your thing. I wish all the positive vibes to you and everybody associated with y'all.
Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate that, man.
Joe, I just gotta say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on our show and shoot the breeze about wrestling and everything. Keep up the fantastic work you're
Thank
doing
you.
with
Thank you.
y'all are definitely killing it. Like I said, every time I miss a show, I'm like, man, why I gotta work today, man? I'm at the club, just you know,
Hopefully you'll be able to make the next two. I think the next two won't be on Saturdays. That's a little teaser I could give you.
I will definitely try my best to make those shows because they're very enjoyable as well. To always have a great time. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when the next Battle Club Pro show is? Or let's say if they want to take that step and become a pro wrestler, or even if they just want to buy some merch because y'all got Battle Club Pro merch available too as well,
Yeah.
right?
So Battle Club Pro across all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If you're looking to become a pro wrestler, the Fallout Shelter, it's the Fallout 101 on Twitter and Instagram. You can just search the Fallout Shelter on Facebook. The email is Fallout School LIC@gmail.com to inquire about training with us. Like I said, 7 coaches, Masha Slamovich, Mike Law, Jorge Santi, Steve Pena, Prince Ahmed, referee Uncle Steve, and Akira. So, I mean, we have everything covered. You have your deathmatch guys, you have your striking, you have your technical, you have your flying, everything is covered, and even referees. You can inquire with us. You can hit us up on social media there. And if you want Battle Club merch, go to battleclubshop.com. It's also Battle Club Shop on Twitter and Instagram. All our stuff is there. Welcome to New York City, WCW, Job. I think Jobber Slam stuff is up there. We got everything from mugs to phone cases, T-shirts, shorts, gym bags. It's all there. Huge shout out to my partner Ray Red for undergoing that task and managing that amazing website. It also has all the Fallout Shelter stuff there too. You have Fallout gear you can get. Danny Nemesis, who designed the Battleweight Championship, has done a lot of designs for our students. KJ Mack, I believe, Sammy Chaos specifically. A lot of her stuff comes from Danny specifically. So yeah, all of our kids' stuff is everywhere. Battle Club shop, you can find some stuff. Some of the kids' stuff is starting to pop up there. Gamble, I believe, the Scottaricans. So it's we're out there. It's not hard to find us. We do a little bit of everything for everybody. And again, if you want to reach out and maybe pursue your dream of becoming a ref or a wrestler, just you hit up the email, you get up the social media, someone will answer, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. So y'all definitely make sure y'all follow, this great company, Battle Club Pro. If you are a wrestling fan and you're in New York and you're not following them, you are wrong. So make sure you hit that follow button, hit that like button. If you're a New York wrestling fan, support your local independent promotion. Not just go to the shows, but also, cop some merch, cop some Battle Club Pro merch, because you never know who might make it to WWE or AEW. I
Right?
mean, somebody might go and say, "Yo, I got the new Jordy Lee shirt from AEW shop or WWE shop." You could be like, "Man, sit yourself down, man. I got the Jordy Lee shirt from Battle Club Pro before she got signed. A real fan, you know what I'm saying? Or the Scotto Rican shirt, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to KJ Mack and Dave Rivera. Y'all definitely support indie wrestling, man. That's where 99% of your superstars from AEW and WWE come from. So why not support them when they're starting on their journey? But with that being said, Joakim, thank you very much for once again for being on our show. We definitely look forward to seeing some more stuff from Battle Club Pro, especially what they have going on this year. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for a nap and then dinner. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Tommy to my Ghost, and the Eminem to my Royce the 5'9". Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearance is, purchase Rob Base merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob_Base82 and Facebook Rob Base. And March 11th, 1CW CCW will be back in Houston, Delaware, tearing the roof off the place. I'm not sure all the matches yet, but it's still got like a month out or whatever. So you definitely stay tuned. I'll get all the matches out to you. But yeah, March
Awesome.
11th.
Awesome. And if you want to find me on social media, not that I have a lot to say, but you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Remy Blue, and also on Facebook, hiding under the alias, you guessed it, Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group and also on Spotify, and we're also on Teespring. Where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have sweatshirts, we even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. And we have two new designs. Well, not too new. We have the Valentine's Day. Yes, that's right. Valentine's Day is around the corner, so we have the Ringside Society Valentine's merch. So definitely check that out. And also Mardi Gras for all of our Louisiana watchers and listeners over there in the great state of Louisiana. Love New Orleans. Love them beignets from Cafe Du Monde. We actually have the Ringside Society Mardi Gras merchandise as well too. Kathy's loving that one right now. So y'all definitely check that out. Cop some merchandise. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. They do not go back into our pockets. Trust me. I'm still eating hamburger helper, and Rob is still eating, Kool-Aid sandwiches. So yeah, we're definitely not pocketing that money. But with that being said, it's about that. It's about that time. First off, we just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan should and could listen to. Um, to those of y'all that are going to listen later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware. We see it. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So with that being said, hey yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for Battle Club Pro and Fallout Shelter, who are gonna do great things in 2023, the Jordan year. And one time for Joakim Morales, who is leading it all.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
For the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going back to the West Coast. We're going to be interviewing none other than King Naja. Wow, we just have a weird royalty. But we're going to be interviewing him all the way in Oregon. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.